Maybe I should buy some for the astronomy kids as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know how many we have at the moment.
This is the file, and this is the... Sorry about this.
Astrophysics.
This is the presentation. Okay. So if you go here, also you can find the way it works. So instead of entering as a
but I'll catch her later.
Right.
You get into the application part,
An email from her.
and then what basically
What's happening?
you do is to select a part of the sky. Okay? So this is the digital sky survey for a region in the Gulf belt that is called the Serpents region. And then the students select an area to observe with the telescope, and the telescope points in that direction. So they are directed. It's not like in the focus that they have to build their own program. And the regions that have been more often observed, they get a forbidden code, so they don't repeat too often the same region. And then once they get there, they are prompted to begin to work. So basically, they have in here the region of the sky, and they have to select the stars, and then they have to identify the same stars in one part or another of the screen, and there is underneath all the calculation of the proper motions method. Okay? So, if you are interested in knowing a bit more about this tool, I will be willing to, I will be most happy to tell you, but I don't want to get you too much bothered or worried about it, okay? So it's working, but as you see, it's still a bit cumbersome. We haven't tried properly. So we are in the middle. As I told you, we expect to finish it by the end of the year. And then we will begin mapping systematically the Serpents region and measuring the proper motions and the stellar streams. And we will find small bodies who will send the information to the relevant places, etc. Okay? And then for those of you who doesn't know who we are a group based at the university, and but we are also involved in teaching and future teachers. And we have many support activities to the educational community. I will not enter in those.
Well, now remember that biology...
All together with the European Union Hands-on Universe. We have some special activities like this wiki support service that is a set of tools to be used by Spanish teachers, Spanish-speaking teachers. So, for instance, you select or that you want to teach in mathematics some concepts like statistic or combinatory. You can seek for an astronomy example to explain that. So, for instance, if we select, let's say, measuring the age of the moon surface, a teacher wants to do that, then the students get into here, where they are prompted for a question that is, how do you measure the age of the moon? And here there is plenty of information teaching how to measure it, how to calculate, and there are also kind of applets to support the teacher with curricular content and to support the students. So now we are working with the Spanish Virtual Observatory group. They were proposing us several exercises and tools to upload it there in. But originally, the exercises were to very high level and were related like measuring the age of a globular cluster or things like that. That we thought that they were not appropriate to be developed or implemented within the educational system. We have an editorial board for this, which is made of scientists and teachers. And then we have asked the Spanish Virtual Observatory to rephrase all this, all their work, and they are working on that, and they are coming up with wonderful solutions. So this is, I can tell you, for the wiki, and just to conclude, this is the usage of the wiki. If you make a Fourier transform, you will find that the period is 7 days. So it's the this is the week they use it. And if you get into the usage area, and that was a surprise for us, we have found out that it's more used in Mexico than in Spain. So it's what always we find, and it's that the language is the vehicle for the knowledge. And the areas of knowledge expressed are really defined by the dominance of a certain language. So, well, I think this is all. If you have any further questions or whatever.
Okay, thank you. Questions, please?
I really like how you've unified math and science so explicitly. Actually, in the United States, they don't talk to each other. So kids are either, actually, I'm working on a program to help them do that. So we learn from you.
Okay, pero... Neote.
Una fusión. Una fusión.
So anyway, we are now in a trial period. What our foundation asked us is to run the experiment. That means to set up the proper robotic link with a telescope and our facility to develop this web-based space that was satisfying the scientists' requirements and also the teachers' requirements. All the texts and all the things I have shown you, they are reviewed by the teachers. So they say, for instance, we have now some sort of collision between the people who is writing the content and the teachers, because we asked to write the content to a university student who is a very nice guy. He's continuously working with teenagers. He has enrolled, we have in Europe something called the European Civil Service. So it's a program where people can enroll, university students can enroll and do some service to support other communities. And he, for instance, has been teaching English, being Spanish, he has been teaching English in Russia. Okay? So we asked him to write all the environment and use the language he used with teenagers, and then teachers came over and said they didn't like that language because it was too easygoing and they prefer something more hard and strict and academic. So it's sort of fun. We will see what comes up at the end. And after all this is tried, obviously it's open to all of you. And probably we will make the robotic telescope available to the community. Okay? So not only for this project, but for other projects.
Great.
Yeah?
So a couple of days ago, HOU, who's one of our European teachers, was here, and he teaches ESL, and I was wondering if he wanted to join the wiki or make use of your materials for teaching.
There is no problem at all, but if you're talking about she is teaching in a very elitist school. Okay, so she's teaching to the elite, and there are people, teachers, they teach in English to the students. Okay, and this is not a normal practice in Spain. Most of our teachers do not speak English. We were just talking over the lunch about the problem that this means from the point of view of European Union hands-on universe, because we have the same problem in all countries, basically in all. I mean, there are some countries where teachers know English, but this is not the case of Spain or Portugal. Well, Portugal more. They do speak English in Portugal, sorry. But for instance, in France, I guess that is more or less like in Spain, or yes, teachers do not speak English. So that's the problem to build a community. And we have been trying, for instance, we have organized training courses at the university in a summer school in Spanish. And we invite Portuguese teachers because we know that they understand Spanish. So we work together, and we are thinking in this kind of interaction. So the problem that we have to develop in the vehicular language, in the language that is used to teach. And this changed a lot over Europe. But yes, it is open to everybody. There is a registry of teachers. We have about 150 teachers registered that are sending information. I haven't shown to you, but if you wish, if you have some time, I could show you, for instance, the last moon images obtained by a school with a webcam in a village in the Sierra, north of Madrid, and they are very nice, so they keep working. That is a Spanish-speaking community, I'm sorry.
No, well, for our children who speak Spanish in the States, yes, they're a first language.
I was asking a bit about this, about whether there was schools where children were taught in Spanish, but I've been told that they are taught in English always. So but obviously, I mean, you can study it, and if any one of you wish to translate from Spanish to English, you are most welcome. I mean, we are trying to do that, but we have other commitments, and from time to time we make some translations, but we cannot keep the pace of the things that our teachers do with the translation work.
Thank you. Please stand by.